Hi! Okay, so welcome to the video if you're new here or if you've been here before. Sorry about that long break I took. It was not planned. Life just kind of got away from me with getting ready to move. Me and my husband both job searching. We're getting ready for a trip we're taking in 2 days' time. We're going like across the country to South Carolina. Plus gardening, and I've been doing a million things like sitting on Rover. I've been running around doing that. And so I've been a little too busy to film, edit, do that whole shebang. But I figured I would check in with you guys before we go to South Carolina because we're going to be gone for a week, and I feel like the garden's going to probably do a lot because I had a lot of tomatoes that are like about ready to turn. I've got 3 that we can go out and pick today, and I just want to kind of show it before and then I'll show it after. But yeah, so here are some shots of the garden. Here are some tomatoes that we are picking. These are some of these supernovas. So I've harvested maybe 2 of these so far, I think. And then we've got 3 ones here that I'm picking today. They are really yummy. I definitely prefer them like fresh off the vine like this when they're kind of warm and when they've been out in the heat of the afternoon. Just because then the water content is lower, and so the tomato is actually a lot sweeter, which is really nice. And then there's this one little, what are they called? The Tessa's Landrace. There's one of these that I think is ready, so we're gonna go ahead and pick him. I have a bunch of these that you can see that are getting ready to turn. I think unfortunately they're probably all gonna get ripe while I'm in South Carolina maybe, so we'll just have to wait and see how that plays out. I'm gonna have my brother taking care of the dog and the garden while we're gone, and really all I'm gonna have him do is like water it, the whole thing twice, like pocket water, and rotate it every day when he comes over. All the plants are big enough now that they get light even without me rotating it. They all get it at different times of day, so it's not too big of a worry. You can see these bell pepper plants. They just need some water. They're doing fine though. They're definitely not in as big of a pot as they should be, and I don't plan on up-potting them before we move. So if they produce something, cool. If not, it's fine. My main everything has really just been like the tomato plants because they're doing so good. Alright, I'm gonna cut in here. This is the little snack that I made with the tomatoes we just harvested. It's literally Triscuits with like mozzarella cheese and the tomatoes. I cut them into little sections. And some fresh basil from my little plant in the windowsill. And then I microwaved it for like 15 seconds so that the cheese would melt. And it is so simple, but it is so yummy. I highly recommend it. And the fresh basil, voila. Anyway, sorry, that's my little snack time cut in, but it's so good. Because obviously I didn't grow tomatoes big enough or enough of them to like do anything like really make salsa or tomato sauce or anything. So little snackies like this are where it's at right now. Anyways, back to the video. So one thing that I think is really cool about the supernovas is, hopefully it shows up on camera. Yeah, it does, cool. But even when they're still green, you can see, focus, you can see the stripes starting to form in the skin. That one shows it really good. And then those stripes are basically the areas that stay orange, just like these. So those stripes will stay orange, the rest will turn red. Oh, there they go. But yeah, it's just so beautiful. And I don't think they have like a crazy distinct flavor or anything. But just as far as looks go, I think they're gorgeous. And this is the little Tessa's Landrace. This is the first one I've harvested of these. So let's go ahead and try it. I'll do this one, okay. But yeah, little Tessa's Landrace. Very sweet. That's really good. That was the one originally in the seed video where I said it was really good for getting kids into gardening and stuff, just because they produce so much and they are really sweet tasting, and so it's nice to kind of get kids into it. And I see why. That was really good. And then we'll try one of the supernovas since we're here. This one's got the most kind of give to it, so we'll go with that one. Little appreciation moment. It's so good. They're so much better in the afternoon. Last time I picked one, I picked it and then I saved it in the fridge overnight because I wanted to like split it with my husband so he could try it. And it was not good. It was fine, but it was not nearly as good as it is like warm, fresh off the vine. And I know like a warm tomato might be kind of weird to some people, but I used to not like eating tomatoes just straight either, and even ones from the grocery store I still don't think I like straight, but when they're like warm off the vine like this, I actually really enjoy them. Which I wasn't sure if I would when I started growing them. I just wanted to grow something. So I'm glad that I enjoy them. And then since I've got you here, I just love seeing the way that the light hits the all of the little fuzzies all over it, you know, like the tomato stem and the leaves and everything, because I've got all these little fuzzies that have the potential to turn into roots when they grow in the wild, and they kind of get to just bush out horizontally. But the way the sunlight catches them is just so gorgeous. Because yeah, you can see, I'm glad the camera's picking it up, but it just kind of creates this halo effect around everything. And it just makes it so magical looking. It's gorgeous. You get to see all the detail in the leaves. I love it so much. But that is, oh my goodness, this lighting. But that's what the garden is looking like before I leave for South Carolina. Let's go ahead and grab the rest of our little tomato haul and head inside. But yeah, so these are our tomatoes from before me going to South Carolina. Here's like one last shot of the garden before I leave. We're gonna be down there for a week, so I'm gonna be in South Carolina from the 26th through the 31st. And this is the garden when we get back. Hopefully, I'm recording this audio beforehand. Hopefully it's alive, and hopefully there's tomatoes. But I will let future Cassidy tell you about that. So, I'm back from South Carolina, getting ready to start thinking about moving and picking a final date for that and everything, but we need to talk about the garden still. So it did really good while I was away. This is so good. I I did really good while I was away. My brother took really good care of it. All he had to do was water and then harvest tomatoes that were ready. And he had like a nice little bowl of them that was here when I got back. And when I got back just yesterday, we were beat. We had a bunch of like airplane problems and flight cancellations. So we wound up staying in Atlanta for like an extra 2 days basically. We got home 2 days late, whatever. But the garden did fine. Actually did more than fine. It did really good while I was gone. But we have just a bunch of tomatoes. These are the Tessa's Landrace. They're these really cute little, I kind of call them my little Skittles, because there will be a bunch of them. And they're so sweet, which is part of that name as well. But yeah, they're actually called Tessa's Landrace. They remind me of little Skittles, so that's what I've been calling them. Because you can see here, is that focusing? Yeah. They'll all be on the same little bunch, but you'll just get like a variety of different colors. You know, just some are going to be orange while others are red. Some are going to be green still. And you just kind of get a great little colorful variety of those while they're all getting ripe and doing their thing. But there's a bunch of them. I can see probably 15 just right here off of one plant without even really like searching for them, which is really great. I'm also really happy. I haven't had any issues with pests on any of my plants. Like no hornworms or anything like that on the tomatoes. Anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself, but tomatoes are doing good. Those are the Tessa's Landrace, and then here I've got Supernovas, which are a little larger. And you can see, hopefully, they've got like the cool stripy coloration. Yeah, but these ones have the nice coloring. These ones are definitely more ripe than the ones over there from that plant. And then yeah, there's even more of the Tessa's Landrace over on this side. And you can see they kind of pop all the way up here. Like taller than the GreenStalk. Kind of like before we left, everything along the top row isn't doing too hot. I'm just letting things go to seed at this point, because I'm moving sometime in the next 2-3 weeks probably. The alyssum, or alyssum, whatever you call it, is doing really good. It's just not flowering right now. I don't know if it's not getting enough light or enough water or what, but the foliage is still really pretty and like lush and full and cute, so they're just living. This was the red salvia. It's still making leaves and blooms, I guess. These are still new, but the blooms fall off really easily and dry out really easily. This was all iceberg, all 3 of these, and I'm just letting them go to seed up here because it's too hot, I think, for lettuces. Pardon me. Too hot for lettuces to do well anyway. Plus, you know, moving, so I'm not too worried about it. And then, let me set you down so I can rotate this bad boy. Take a peek at everyone else as well. Here we are. So this is the other... There we go. This is the other Tessa's Landrace, and it's got, you know, a bunch of little ripe guys and a bunch of green guys. The Tessa's Landrace too, it's also got, it still has a bunch of flowers on it. I think the Supernovas are kind of slowing down as far as like new blooms go, but they have plenty of tomatoes on them still that need to get ripe, so I'm not worried about it. But yeah, the Tessa's Landrace really popped off while I was gone. I think what we need to do now is go ahead and harvest all of our tomatoes. So we've got our bowl of tomatoes. Let's see, oh, I think I cracked one. I split it. Like that too. Okay. Just a couple splits on the land races, nothing to be too concerned about. Let's see, I've got 5 of the supernovas and then like more of the land races than I'm willing to count right now. These ones that split, I'm just gonna yeet off into the little swamp area. I hope that some animal enjoys them. They all made it out into the grass, so some animals will find them. I actually found a bunch of turkeys out running around back here this morning, like wild turkeys, so that was cool. Back to what I was saying about pests just a minute ago, and how I haven't had any, thank God. I think that kind of comes as like a catch-22 for me up here on this balcony, because while I didn't have any pests, I also didn't have a lot of pollinators. And so things like my cucumbers did not produce at all, have not produced at all. It's way too late into the summer now, like we're in August now. It's definitely too late, I think, for cucumbers to start doing anything if they haven't already, and they have not. And I came out here with Q-tips like multiple times and tried to like pollinate the flowers myself, and that just, it wasn't really working. It was kind of weird. I felt like the plants would put out like all male blooms at one time and then all female flowers at a different time. And so it was really hard to kind of pollinate them. And then also I live on the 2nd story balcony of an apartment. There's not a lot of other people's like fruit and vegetable gardens around me. Some people have like flowers and stuff, but you know, that's not the kind of pollen that would help my cucumbers grow. And so tomatoes have really become one of the only main things that I can produce up here, or that I am producing. The strawberry plant did not do well. You know, it did not do well. I've let it dry out at this point. I think I got like 3 strawberries out of it, and none of them were good. They were all like kind of misshapen, way too seedy on the outside, and the flavor was like nothing. So not a huge miss, I don't think, but still kind of disappointed. Like, would have loved to see how the plant went, but it just started like shriveling up randomly when everything else was doing fine. So I don't really know. I did buy that one as a start, so maybe there was something kind of wrong with it from the get-go. That's totally possible. Or maybe I'm just not great at growing strawberries. But yeah, no pests, but also no pollinators. Kind of an issue. Tomatoes have been doing great regardless. These bell peppers are doing pretty good too. They have some blooms. Let's see, I'll remove some leaves. But they've got some blooms kind of trying to come in on the top here. They definitely should be in bigger pots. But you know, things have gotten away from me, obviously. So I'm just kind of letting them see what they do. Again, if they don't produce, that's totally fine, and I'm moving in a couple weeks, so I'm expecting to lose some stuff, and things like this that like I've knowingly neglected, I'm probably gonna lose, and I'm just living with that for this season. Another thing, so my cilantro did not do well. I've never been able to grow cilantro very well. It always just is like really sparse and small and like not enough to actually use for anything. But what I am doing is, you can see it's gone to seed here. And so this is coriander inside of these little pods. And they're pretty dry now. I could probably harvest them, but I'm going to harvest them probably in a different video. Sorry, something was stabbing my arm. But I'm gonna go ahead and harvest a bunch of seeds from things that I've grown here this year and try to save them for next year. Because while I'm moving, I'm only moving like 2 hours away. It's a little drier. We get like less rain where I live, or where I'm moving to, where I'm from. But it's still, like, temperature-wise, it's roughly the same. The seasons are basically the same, just less rainfall. And I'm gonna be, like, you know, watering everything anyway, so that's not a huge difference. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and harvest, like, these coriander seeds, my lettuces up here that are going to seed. I'm probably gonna do some of I'll try to harvest some of the tomato seeds. They're probably really, really tiny. And I remember them being really tiny from the seeds starting video. I think it'll be this corner, maybe that one, we'll find out. I remember them being really tiny, so I'll see if I can harvest them out of the tomato and just see how realistic that is for me to get enough. I do have more of the seeds still in the packets, like in a little drawer from this spring. So I'll use those if I can't get these, but I've always heard that if you can, it's good to harvest seeds from things that you've grown, like locally in your area, just because over time they can get more hardy to, you know, the weather patterns and, you know, just things like that, and so I figured, why not? But yeah, so I'm gonna harvest tomato seeds, coriander, iceberg lettuce. That's kind of all I have for seed things. The sun's coming out, it's hot. Also, look at my really cute shirt. The brand is members only, which I don't know anything about. I got this from a thrift store. But it's got little embroidered mushrooms on it. It's so cute. I love it. Okay. Anyway. I was also very happy when I got back because this is my theft succulent that I got, I think in January. I picked it out of someone's like rock wall alongside their yard, and it was like this big around, you know, the side of like just this inner circle, and it was like dark purple because it was the dead of winter, and I think they turn purple when they're like dormant. So that was what it looked like. And I'm really hit or miss with succulents and cacti, and so I wasn't really expecting anything crazy to happen with it. I was kind of expecting it to like shrivel up and just die, and it's been spreading out and kind of doing this whole blooming onion type thing for a while. But when I got back, let me find some. Here we are. It had all of these babies. Focus, camera. But it had all of these little babies. Yeah, coming out on the bottom here. How cool is that? I have the name of it, I think. Oh, I don't know if I have it in my houseplant tour video. It might be in that one. I'll put a card to it, but I might be wrong. It might be a different video entirely. Oh goodness, I just dumped some dirt out, it's fine. But yeah, look at her. She's great, and I'm just so happy it's finally making babies. Because it was like spreading out forever, but it wasn't putting off little shoots, and so I was like, what am I doing wrong? But she just needed some time. So that is cool. There. Let me show you the tomatoes in the sun. Look at them. They're just so gorgeous. I love them. Okay, so I think that is just about it for this video. Let's go ahead and have one more of each tomato, because they're out in the sun right now, and that's always when they're best. This is one of the smaller supernovas. They're so good. I love them so much. And then one more little landrace while it was in the sun. Those ones are so sweet. is just about it for this video. I want to say thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe on here. Oh my god. Subscribe on here on YouTube so that you're tuned for the next like collecting seeds video, as well as moving with the GreenStalk, which is probably going to involve taking it apart layer by layer and then reassembling it when we get to where we're moving to. We might lose some plants in that, so this might be one of the last full garden updates where everything is still mostly alive other than the sad top row. But anyways, subscribe so you can catch that. And go ahead and follow over on my Instagram, where I give like more updates on like the traveling thing and like why I didn't post all month, and just more kind of like real life, real-time updates over there. But yeah, thank you so much for being here. I know there's just a small collection of us, but I really appreciate each and every single one of you that likes to just tag along and check out garden things with me and be a part of my garden. But yeah, thank you so much. I love you, bye!